like to welcome Levi, a carpenter and a musician.
Yes,
Yeah.
and who had a car accident and discovered Wim Hof
Yeah.
breathing.
Very interesting story. Um, Levi, please tell us
T-
more.
Tell us more about your
Yeah.
hero's journey, how it
Yeah.
happened.
Sure. So you want me to do you want me to just talk about what happened after I discovered Wim Hof, or
Just
Yeah.
let
start
us
with the,
know how it started and
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah.
How about your maybe briefly about your accident.
Yeah.
sure.
Backstory.
So
So we a little bit of a backstory, like your accident. Um,
sure.
wh- where that left you at, and
Mhm.
then what happened when you started to work with the Wim Hof method.
Sure. So I was doing a pretty regular, a 9 to 5 job. I was going to get groceries, um, and a guy cut across 7 lanes and he hit me head on. And I wasn't physically, I was pretty beat up, but I hit my head really bad, and I was laid up in bed for about 2 months, like just in a dark room trying to recover from the concussion. Once I got kind of out and back to physiotherapy and all that kind of stuff, COVID hit, and I was forced out of all that, because Canada has a great healthcare system, and I was forced out of all that stuff. And basically, I had a blood pressure. I think it was like 140 over 110 or something like that. Like my standing heart rate was like 125.
Wow.
And
Before the accident.
No, that was after the accident.
Yes.
After the accident.
So accident brought all these things on the.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, and then just by luck, I found this Wim Hof thing. I think it had been following me around a little bit for years before that, but I finally actually listened, and I just started doing it, and like I had instant success. Like my head was just coming back to normal. I was able to like walk around not being dizzy, and my heart rate like went straight back to normal like in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, it was shocking. And then in honesty, like it did go up and down for a little while, for a couple of months, but now it's just rock solid. Like, I mean, I'm probably healthier than any 45-year-old guy you'll meet now.
Wow.
So, and I've been at it for about well, in February it'll be coming on, actually probably March it'll be coming on a year.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So what was happening in you physically just before you started? Like after the accident, you said your head cleared, so
your head was a bit foggy, and the
heart rate was
So I had like what they call like the classic concussion. I was always dizzy. I needed any kind of light would like cause me excruciating headaches.
Wow.
I was just my mind was confused. I never, like, I would sometimes even for months after I went back to work, I would kind of wake up at work going, oh, I don't even know where I am.
Wow.
And I'd have to like kind of like figure this thing out. And but yeah, so I mean, it's really been quite a thing. I mean, it's shocking because I don't have a lot of faith. I mean, I have a great respect for our healthcare system, but I mean, a doctor basically listens to you and types something into a computer and gets the the symptoms and gets you an answer for your problem. That's like, I think there's a little more depth to what's going on in our bodies, on a spiritual level and all that, right? So I went down that road, and I mean, I was always a self-reflective guy. Like, I mean, being a musician and all that stuff. I mean, you always got. I think musicians are a little bit more nuttier than the average person, and so I mean, I've always chased the spiritual thing. I've always painted, always, done all these things, and it's just been clarity with Wim Hof has been spectacular.
Have you found it affecting your creativity at all?
Oh yeah, like I can concentrate for longer. I can take my time and do things longer. I mean, that's also due in fact to the, you know, that I have time because nobody's working and stuff like that too. So that's a tricky bit, but it's been a renaissance for me. I mean, I'm writing a ton. I'm painting a ton. I'm meditating. Like I get up at like I don't know, like 3 o'clock in the morning usually, and do an hour meditation. And
Wow.
yeah, like I've been pretty committed to all that stuff. And I think the reason is partly the breath. I mean, you guys know that the breath work, I mean, it brings you into that alkaline state, right? Like to me, that's God. I don't know what you guys call it. Mother nature, I don't know what it is, but it just brings that whole thing in balance.
Yeah.
The male and the female part of the brain come together, and everything just calms right down, and it becomes this beautiful thing. And I think because I'm probably kind of a high, what would you call it? Like I got a lot of energy. I'm a high energy guy, redhead guy. Like I'm not as redhead as I used to be, but I was born a redhead, and I think redheads tend to be really busy in their brains, and this just kind of slows everything down and calms everything down, you know. And it's
at the same time you channel everything more. It's like more directed towards your creativity. So it's amazing. Absolutely.
Do you ever find you get creative insights while you're breathing?
Do you know what? Not so much while I'm breathing, but when I get in that tub, I get just really, it's really a weird, everything just goes so quiet that I don't, like sometimes I sleep, sometimes I've been pretty good. I got down to about 0 degrees, which 0 degrees in the tub feels colder than -15 in a pair of shorts outside. So I don't know like what that is, but I can definitely get like in that zone of like just like I'll write something in my head, and I'll get out of the shower, I'll have a cold shower, I'll write something in my head, and I'll have to like run out and get my phone and write it down. And like, you know, it's pretty interesting. I think we've been too soft on ourselves, you know.
Yeah. It's I was given like an ebook. Well, it's like a PDF of a book that was written in 1904, and in the book it's about breathwork, and it was one of the problems of modern man, and this is back in 1904, is bad posture, which affects our breathing, and we've got too comfortable in the warm. We need to get cold more often. So for me, reading this, I'm like, wow, yeah, this is really interesting, as it's pointing to everything that's becoming so popular now, thanks to people like Wim. For me, one of the amazing things with breathwork is I love how everyone has a different experience of it. For me, I often get a lot of creative insights in the middle of a breathing session. But then me and Aisha will both breathe together, and we'll share our experiences, and
they are completely different.
Yeah.
They are completely different. So we are so intrigued and inspired by talking to you to find out what is your experience, because maybe more people will be more inspired to try breathwork, not only to feel better, but to get a creative inspirations and other things. So it's
and this is one of the great things about having this opportunity to talk to others like yourself. And it's, right, what's happened in your space? How have you found the breathing for you over a period of time? Has it changed? Has your experience in your breathing changed at all?
Like breath.
Like as far as like, can I do it longer and stuff like that? Is that what you mean? Or
well, it's for me, my breath holds have gone backwards.
See, I'm curious about, because I'm not like a super I just recently started running and stuff like that, but I was never like, I've never been into like the physical activity that much. Like I've always been like, I like to walk, but I walk slow. Like I walk slow and I meditate and I pray for people when I walk, and just really purposely slow everything down, right? Because that for me is more important than this. Like this, the Wim Hof thing has gotten a little bit emasculated. Like it's a little bit like raw man, and it's really not. Yeah, it's really more about, I think to me, it's really about getting in touch with the feminine and how beautiful the creative side of it is, you know, like that seems more important. I mean, it's really super cool that Wim Hof can go out and he can run and dive underwater and do all these magical things. But does any of that really matter at the end of the day? I don't know. Like your happiness and your spirituality are far more important, you know. Do you guys ever hear, so like as I meet different people, like I just did this on my own, and I didn't really know anybody who was doing it, and I don't really talk to anybody, but I started going on that Wim Hof Uncensored thing on Facebook, and that's where I met you guys. But have you met, like, as I meet people, I find out all these other things about this breathing stuff. Like, do you guys know that the Tibetan monks have been doing this, and they're melting the snow like a foot around them because they're so powerful? Like that is magic.
There are competitions to dry sheets outside when it's freezing. For me, when I think my journey with breath work, it started with meditation and just breath counting, but that was very, very subtle. Yeah, it helped me to go into a meditative state, but the boom didn't hit until I started doing Wim Hof breathing, and then I'm like, wow! And my meditation after a breathing session was, oh wow! And
your meditation gets far better after the breathing, hey? Okay, good. I sometimes I'm not sure if that's like me or if it's just like that. I think that, or if it's just because I'm meditating more, or but you guys find that too, hey? Like it's like something so subtle in here happens that I'm not sure, but then you just like, I sink into the meditation zone just so easy, right? Like it's just like everything's just peaceful.
But there's also, for me, it's Wim Hof that started me, and both me and Aisha, we are practitioners in
biodynamic breath and trauma release.
So it's another breathwork modality, and that's where we met. So for me, it's been a crazy journey of breathing on my own for so long, and then going off to do my training for BBTRS, meeting Aisha, and then suddenly the whole world and community of has opened up of other breathers, and it's wonderful. There's such nice people, and I like how you brought spirituality into it as well. And this is one of the things that made me chuckle. I've always had some spiritual leanings, but then I started looking at the Wim Hof Facebook pages, and like, as you say, often it's a lot of
masculine,
and people that could be very dismissive towards spiritual things. But then during the breath work, it's like, oh, there's something going on. And I think for me, this is what I love about breath work and all other modalities, more modern modalities of breath work. No one is pushing spirituality. It's about having your own experience. So it's experiential spirituality without dogma. And for me, that's where it's at.
That's exactly right. Like, to me, it's funny because, I mean, I feel like there's a bit of some holes in the spiritual dogma, like, of late. You know, it seems like everybody's fallen into this thing where it's like we have to like chase what we've been doing wrong, and we just constantly are seeking, like, punishing ourselves for being wrong about the stuff in the past, and digging it up, and there's too much digging it up, and we need to move forward in that and find the love. You know? I mean, that's the to me is the masterpiece.
It happened to me personally sometimes, even during the Wim Hof breathing, that I hit the bliss of love. And it's like, wow, it's not about only releasing the emotions and, as you mentioned, digging the old stuff. It's about just enjoying this moment and enjoying the breath.
Yeah.
Mark recently started to discover different patterns during the breath. When he is doing the morning Wim Hof breathing, he is discovering how breath travels around the body.
Yeah, I'm exploring my whole breathing spaces, and also things like, so early on, I was breath holding up to, I think my longest was about 3.5 minutes. Not massive, but still it was like, wow. And then I suddenly ended up dropping down to struggling to get to 1.5 minutes. And now what I've done just recently is, when I exhale for the hold, it's just having a really, really long exhale.
Yeah, the longer exhale is, that's funny. I noticed that too. You gotta almost even things out, because you can suck way more in when you get the right amount of exhale. Because otherwise you run out of the ability to suck more in when you're. There's some subtleties to it. Hey, there's an art to it.
Yes,
it really is.
The breathing is an art for me.
Yeah, I think it's because breathing's very linked to our nervous system.
Right.
And it's like, how is our nervous system being rigged up? And everyone's gets rigged slightly different over the years with the different experiences that go on in life. So then, as I feel, as we get into more and more into working with the breath, it's learning to feel it more and let it show you how to work with it, rather than again being dogmatic. You must breathe this way, you must breathe that. Which is one of the things that I like about Wim. In the beginning, we did his fundamentals course
that's what
online.
I wanted to mention as well.
And in the beginning, he seemed to be very regimental.
Very.
But then as he goes on, it's like just letting go. It's like just feel.
Be gentle. And we were like, is it Wim? Is it Wim Hof? It's just like really gentle and just follow your breath, feel your way through the breath. And it was like, that's what it is. Be gentle to yourself and just follow your breath.
Yeah, Wim. I think Wim is very much in touch with that feminine thing. Yeah. I think everybody misses it. Like, not everybody, but some people miss it. But he's. I mean, I watched him on like Joe Rogan, and he's all about like, it's not about competition. It's not about this, and it's really about that's God business to me. That's spirituality. That's that's what he is sending out. But when the masses come, I think people get caught up in that rah thing, right? So but it's good. It's fine. At least they're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. For me, that's the big thing. I think it's attracted people because of Wim. He's attracted people in that normally wouldn't have come to this stuff, and it gets us in touch with our life force energy, love, whatever, and all these other bits and pieces. And for me, it's just brought so much peace into my life. Just everything. So,
how many times a day do you guys breathe?
Every morning.
Every morning a Wim Hof, and then
every night before we sleep we do another breathing called
5-5. It's heart coherence breathing. Very gentle, very delicate.
So then we're breathing in perfect time together with equal length inhales and outhales.
Yeah.
From time to time we are doing our breathing. It needs a facilitator, so we are breathing each other on
about once a week.
Once a week, yeah.
So what the BBTRS is working with movement when you're breathing, and massage as well. So it's helping to release stuff that's stored in the muscles. So the idea is that all this repressed energy or emotion that we couldn't let out in the situation where it arose because we didn't feel safe gets stored in muscles.
Right.
And through like different belts of tension throughout the body.
So it's more or less what happened to you. It was like the trauma that was trapped in your body after the accident. With breathing, you managed to release and help the nervous system to balance and go back to normal. And then super normal because you became more creative, you became more calm, and your parameters, your life got better.
But I can go outside in my shorts and -15.
Tell us
I'm superhuman.
Yeah, tell us about your practice with, on every morning we cold shower as well.
Yeah.
Tell us about your practice with breathing. We're doing the breathe in the cold.
Yeah, so I usually get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I do Wim Hof immediately. Mm-hmm. Then I generally will I'll have a 30-minute coffee and do like some sort of podcast, like a spiritual podcast, and just kind of like really like slow myself down and chill out. Although I'm having coffee, I know, but I'm a junkie. It's okay. and then I go into about a 40 to an hour 20 meditation. Mm-hmm. And then I'll either, if I have to go to work, then I'll head straight to work, or else I'll have a nap. Mm. And then when I get home from work, or if I don't work, I have a freezer, like a chest freezer full of ice packs. Yep. And I fill up my tub every day, and I put the ice packs in. I get it down to about 0 degrees Celsius. Mm-hmm. And I have a 10-minute. Well, first I breathe, and then I do the Wim Hof breath again, and then I do a 10-minute ice bath. Mm-hmm. And then I'll get out and I'll generally do like a little, I don't want to call it yoga, but yoga-ish stretching, like some stretching, and just breathe, just try and just relax and breathe. And then generally after that, I'll do like something creative. Mm.
Did you used to do the stretching before you started doing the Wim Hof?
Okay, so it's funny because there was a lot more things. I guess there's a lot more things wrong with me than what I've really told you about. I was nearly, my hips and my knees, I was nearly crippled for about 3 years when I got back from Europe. I toured in Europe as a musician for about 2 years. Well, it was about 1.5 years. And when I came back, I had to get this job, and I got this like heavy job doing doors, door installs and parquets. So you're in the concrete, lifting like 100-pound doors all day long, kind of thing. And I had to quit because my knees and my hips were so bad. I went and did service work because the work is lighter, and my hips kind of stayed terrible the whole time. And then but during that time, I kind of got a regiment of this stretching that I would do. I was on like, I think 12 extra strength Advils a day, like trying to cope with my pain, like for my knees and my hips and all that stuff. And I'd stretch for about an hour every day just to try and get some normalcy, but it never really worked. So then when I when I had the car accident and the COVID hit, they fired me from my other job. And then I had to go back to this old job. And I did it pain-free for the last 6 months. And I made probably twice as much money as I've ever made in my life through this too. It's been crazy. Like you're almost superhuman with between the bath and the breathing. You can pretty much do anything you put your mind to at that point. Your body will conform to that.
Yeah, so my curiosity is, have you found when you're doing your stretching now that you've started to do the breathing, are you finding your breath is starting to coordinate more with your stretching at all?
Well, my stretching has become, I mean, like before you would stretch and you'd get to a certain point and that was it. Now you stretch and you just keep stretching. You just get better and better and better, right? Like that's the difference now. Yeah. Like because your body, I think when your body is alkaline, it just lets all your stuff go. I don't know what it does.
Yeah.
Makes things happen, you know.
How to explain for someone who didn't experience it, but your body is it's more flexible. It's better. It's more alive. It's healthier.
Yeah, because we've changed the chemistry. So I guess it makes sense that we're changing our internal chemistry. Then if you start stretching your muscles, moving your body, then you're allowing that chemistry to flow around and loosen everything up again.
Yeah, I think it grows your what's your cardiovascular system. Like I feel like when you go in that ice, I feel like your blood, your veins are growing and things are getting, there's more detail, and it has to push to survive now. And then once all that blood is flowing healthily and properly, and all that inflammation is coming out of your body, you're just going back to your natural state. And it's like I could work out like I did when I was like 22 years old, and I'm a 45-year-old man. I heal faster than the guys at the gym, the young guys at the gym. Like that's the miracle of it. Like it's
amazing.
It's yeah, it's really great.
Right. That's beautiful journey.
Yeah,
Thank
it's been
you.
really nice meeting you, and great hearing your story. Wow.
Thank you guys too.
Thank you so much. Yeah, much appreciated for your time and for your story. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.